I'm John Hinkle, the senior pastor of First Presbyterian Church here in downtown Murfreesboro on the corner of College and Spring. This is your Saturday morning preview of Sunday morning sermon. Let me say before I even begin, I wish there was a way. I wish I was computer savvy enough that I could show you all the outtakes. This is my fourth attempt to do the Saturday morning preview of Sunday morning sermon. Having said that, if you were with us last Sunday, you know we're in a three-part series of sermons looking at the Gospel of Matthew, the 25th chapter. Why a three-part series of sermons? Well, it's because there are 3 Sundays between All Saints Sunday and the first Sunday of Advent. And why Matthew 25? Well, that's easy. It's broken down into 3 parts. As a matter of fact, it's broken down into 3 parables. And we said last Sunday, all 3 parables focus on eschatology. What's eschatology? It is the end times. It is when God will bring forth his kingdom once and for all. And of course, last Sunday we had the parable of the 10 virgins. This Sunday, it's the servants and the gifts bestowed upon them. And then Bobby will end it with the parable of the sheep and the goats. Now, interesting enough, when the disciples are listening to these parables, I have to believe they're thinking Jesus is talking about a political kingdom, bringing in a political kingdom to overthrow the Romans, to kick them out and reestablish the throne of David. They're thinking this eschatology is just right around the corner. But as Jesus tells these parables, and as we listen to these parables through resurrected eyes, meaning we now know and believe in the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ, Jesus isn't talking about an eschatology that's going to happen in the here and the now, meaning when he originally told these parables. He's talking about an eschatology that, well, we don't know when it's going to happen. As a matter of fact, Jesus is very clear in these parables and in the Gospels. It's not up to us to know the time and the place when Jesus comes again. In fact, anybody who tells you that they know or they have a good idea, that was a wink if you didn't know, a good idea when Jesus is going to come again, well, they're wrong. Jesus himself says, I don't even know when I'm coming again. Only God the Father knows. Now, I know that's a very Trinitarian issue that you have to deal with when you think about that. But what Jesus is making clear, it's not up to us to know when and where. But what is up to us, according to all 3 parables, is that we're prepared for Jesus to come again. So last Sunday, that's what we talked about. Are we prepared? This Sunday, we're going to talk about what being prepared actually looks like. According to our parable this Sunday, a very wealthy man has to leave town in order to conduct business. But before he leaves town, he gathers 3 of his most faithful servants. He gives one servant 5 bags of gold, the other servant 2 bags of gold, and then the last servant a bag of gold, and each according to his ability. Well, the master leaves, and immediately we're told that the first 2 servants, one with 5 bags of gold, one with 2 bags of gold, immediately puts that money to work. And they work, putting the money into work. And they double what was given to them. But the servant with 1 bag of gold, well, he just dug a hole and he buried his gift. That's all he did. He buried the gift given to him. When the master comes back, he gathers all 3 servants. He praises the 2 that actually did something with the gifts that had been given to him. But to the one who did nothing, he condemned. And he cast him out of his household. Now again, if you haven't figured it out, the master is Jesus. And if you haven't figured it out, we're the servants. And so the question this Sunday is, what are we doing with the gifts that have been given to us? As a matter of fact, part of our Reformed faith, our Reformed theology, claims that all good gifts come from the hand of God, meaning that God is the originator of benevolent giving. And we are the product and results of his gifts. All of us have gifts that we can use, not just for our own benefit. As a matter of fact, we've been called to use the gifts that have been given to us for the benefit of God's kingdom here on this earth. You can do that in a number of ways, but of course, the main way, according to the book of Acts, is through your relationship with the church, through your relationship with your individual church. May that be First Presbyterian Church. I have a good friend who's watching from Michigan. Maybe it's her good Lutheran church, but it is through the church that we are able to move forth God's will into this world until Jesus comes again. So I really look forward to this time with you this Sunday and looking at, are we prepared? Are we prepared for when Jesus comes again? I hope you have a great day, and I hope to see you Sunday. And if not Sunday, I want to see you soon.